Hey, everybody. Hopefully you're all on. Want to welcome you to what I think is going to be a really fun session. I hope all of you have something to drink. You're going to have something to drink for this. The title that you see on the screen says it all. Nothing else to say about it. So with that, I'm going to introduce you to the person that you're going to chase out of the peninsula when this is done. Take it away, Glenn.
Hey, good evening, everybody. Well, good evening for me, maybe for you, not so much. I don't know. But thanks for joining us. It was a lot of fun putting this together. I don't know how many of you were there when I was able to do the presentation on the greatest rock songs ever. It's coming up on 2 years. But that was taken from a bunch of like 25 different lists from around the world. And those songs were, there was a spreadsheet that I put and came up with basically the 10 greatest. I figured maybe there's, an inverse to that. And sure enough, there was, and there are plenty of lists about the worst, most vile songs that have ever hit the charts. Now, these songs, I'll give you the rules for what has to qualify. But these songs were all bona fide hits. These aren't songs that we went into the garbage and found something horrible that nobody ever heard, and that's an awful song, because there are probably thousands, millions of those. But these were songs that all wound up being popular. They're all million selling songs that wound up being despised. Now, again, don't kill the messenger, okay? It's not my list, okay? This is not my list of the worst songs. And inevitably, somebody here is going to say, I like that song. I'm sorry. It's on the list. There's nothing I can do about it. Okay. But this is what we did. We went and got these lists, and I made the spreadsheet. And unlike the greatest rock songs, where there were 130 different songs, and I had to find the highest vote totals, the same songs kept coming up over and over and over again on songs that people hate. Whether they were from Australia, whether they were from England, whether they're from California, it didn't matter. The same songs kept coming up. So, whether you like these songs or don't like these songs are basically songs that are the most hated songs in the world. Some of them you may like, some of them you'll despise. I hope that you have something to drink. This looks like an ordinary coffee cup. It's not. Anyway, I hope you have something. If you have something soft to throw at the screen, that's fine. And I have plenty of protection here in case, you've got a song that you really hate. I'm covered. So I'm good. Anyway, let's move on and figure out how we did this. Okay. So now I'm, for some reason, unable to make we're already running into a problem with this. There we go. Okay. Here we go. All right. Here are the reliable sources that we used. WikiList, Ultimate Classic Rock is always a good source. Turf Show Times, the New York Post had a list. YouTube had a list. Spotify had a list. Rock My World is a good source. Cheat Sheet. Microsoft Network had a list. Mental Floss always has a list. List 25 has nothing but lists. GQ Australia, You Discover Music, the BBC, and you, because I've had people shouting the names of songs they hate at me since this thing was put out on email. So there were enough of you that gave me enough suggestions.
Excuse me, Glenn, yeah. What Turf Show Times? Is Mr. Ed making choices on this?
No, it's just another one of these lists that comes up. If you start Googling best worst of anything, you'll find lists like this. And it's weird. If you've ever looked at lists of the most admired people in the country and the least admired, the same people are usually on both lists. Okay, you'll start with presidents, first ladies, politicians, athletes. There are always going to be some people that love those people and some people that hate them. Not so much with these songs were universally despised. So here are the rules, okay, aside from being a hit. Now, I'm not quite sure why I can't advance, why I'm getting this beep and I can't advance. Does anybody know why?
What are you hitting, Glenn?
I'm hitting my down arrow.
Your down arrow. Well, that is a little without being in front of the
I'm hitting
screen.
up and I'm hitting down and I'm like stuck on this. There we go. Now, for some
Yeah.
reason, I have to hit my pad. I don't know why. Okay, so here are your inclusion criteria. Okay, so the song has to meet at least 3 of the following criteria to be included.
Huh.
It has to have an ultra high level degree of annoyance. It just has to annoy the crap out of you. Okay, it has to have a change the radio station factor of faster than 1 second. Okay, if you hear that song, it's got to be that you hit that button in less than 1 second. It has to have a general inanity or vapidity factor of greater than 8 out of 10 on the International General Inanity Vapidity Factor scale. Okay, it has to have radio overplay ad infinitum. It also has to have an instant nausea factor of faster than 5 seconds. You hear it, you get physically ill. You have to have banal or insensible lyrics that are just awful, make no sense. It has to have a "this song sucks" public outburst factor, where if you hear the song, it doesn't matter if you're in the supermarket or about, you will turn to the next stranger and say, "This song sucks." It doesn't matter. You can't control yourself. Okay, there has to be generally awful musicianship, especially with vocals, really bad vocals, or it has to have incredible arrogance or inflated self-importance on the part of the artist or the group. Okay, so if it meets 3 of those criteria, and all of these songs do, then you will have a winner. So we're going to start now. Again, you're not going to hear the whole song of any of these because I want to live. So I'm going to start. I'm going to tell you a little bit about each song, and then we're going to play a little bit of each song, and I mean a little bit of each song. Okay, so the first song, starting from number 30 and moving up to the champ. Okay, this song came out in 1978. It was originally a B-side, but the DJs started playing this song, and it became a big hit for this artist. In 2016, it was deemed culturally and historically significant by the Library of Congress. Let me repeat that. Culturally and historically significant by the Library of Congress. Okay, the single woman's anthem.
Oh my.
At first I was afraid, I was petrified, kept thinking I could never live without you by my side. But then I spent so many nights thinking how you did me wrong, and I grew strong, and I learned how to get along, and so you're back from outer space. I just walked in to find you here with that sad look upon your face. I should have changed.
Okay.
That's enough of that. Thank you. Thank you, Gloria. Okay, so anyway, moving right along. Okay, the next song actually was recorded originally by the group America, group I really like, but the song charted very poorly. It was then recorded by this duo and was a big hit, peaked at number 4, came out in 1976. Odd note about this duo, when I saw the Beach Boys in concert a couple of years before that, I saw these 2 people. I didn't know who they were. I saw this girl, young girl with really long blonde hair playing keyboards, and another guy playing keyboards, and they were just in the band. And I didn't know that they'd go on to become this very successful duo who put out this song in 1976 that multiple critics have called nauseating.
Muskrat, muskrat, candlelight, doing the town and doing it right in the evening. It's pretty pleasing. Muskrat Susie.
Thank you. Thank you very
Okay.
much. Captain
Glenn, I want everybody, who actually admit that you love that song, that you actually, when you first heard it, cried tears. Go ahead. Come on. We know there's some people out there that did.
I thought that was your wedding song, Barry.
Yeah, well, it was. Yes, in fact. And how many people was it there? That's our song.
Well, I'm sorry. I know there's one song on this list that is at least one other couple's wedding song. So I apologize for that in advance, but not really. Anyway, the next song came out in 1987, and it was a #1 hit in 25 countries. That's impressive. It also became an internet meme. Okay, so if you went to any number of sites on the internet, like thousands of them, and you clicked a link, you were instantly transported to the video of this song, and you were rickrolled. Okay, that was what it was called if you got the video of this song. Rick Astley, Never Gonna Give You Up. Next song goes back 20 some odd years before that. This is a song from 1965, basically a one-hit wonder. The group had a couple of other songs, but nothing that came close to this. Actually, it peaked at number 2, and it was kept off the charts from being number 1 by Help Me Rhonda and by Back in His Arms Again by the Supremes, which, by the way, I just heard that Mary Wilson passed away today. So I did not realize that until recently. So anyway, this song, you just need to take a look at the group, just the picture, and you know, it says it all. But
Uno, dos, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Anyway,
that was the song that launched Sean Penn's career, wasn't it? In Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Yep.
He was dancing to it.
Yeah, lucky him. Anyway, it's just, I mean, what can I say? It's, you know, it's great that we have culture in the United States.
By the way, Glenn, there are a number of people that, as you probably would know, on the chat have said, I like this song. Various songs. And please know that this is no reflection on the collective taste of the viewers here.
Nope. If you came in late, this is from multiple sources around. This isn't my list. This isn't these aren't, matter of fact, my favorite or my least favorite song isn't even on this list. I might tell everybody, as I told the three amigos, this most expensive list I ever put together, because I have a fairly big music library. I had exactly one of these songs. I had to buy all of these songs to make this list, knowing that I will never listen to it again. But it was fun just putting it together. So anyway, let's keep going. The next song is from 1983. This group was much more popular in England than the United States. But the song, to me, was described as nauseating. And one of the lines from the song is, I bought a ticket to the world, and now I've come back again, which was called the worst line ever written in any song. So let me cue that one up. And because we have to listen to the obnoxious beginning, let's start from about here.
So true, funny how it seems, always in time, but never in line for dreams. Head over heels, went toe to toe. This is the sound of my soul. This is the sound
because it's just awful. Look at them. I mean,
You hit Sharon Kelly. She played this at her wedding.
I'm so sorry. I mean, I think it's great. What can I mean, look at them. If that's not mid-1980s with the big lapels and the sleeves pushed up on the suits, all of that. I mean, it just, what can I say? But the song is just, what can I say? Anyway, the next song, I don't know if you can call it a song. It's from 1966. And I remember in New York City, in the New York area, there were basically two radio stations, WMCA and WABC. PIX played some music, but basically there were two. And I grew up on a beach, a couple of blocks away. So when this song came out, I remember listening, and I didn't know what to make of it. And half the people on the beach, and we all live near the beach, are listening to one or the other station. So this song comes on, and it finishes, and I'm kind of like looking at my cheap transistor radio, like what's going on? And then it comes on again. And then it comes on again. And it comes on again. 6 times. Now everybody is looking at their radios and saying, what the heck is this? Because no one has ever heard anything like it, and either did you.
Remember when you ran away and I got on my knees and begged you not to leave because I go berserk? Well, you left me anyhow, and then the days got worse and worse, and now you see I've gone completely out of my mind. And they're coming to take me away, ha-ha, they're coming to take me away, ho-ho, hee-hee, ha-ha, to the funny farm where life is beautiful all the time, and I'll be happy to see those nice young men in their clean white coats, and they're coming to take me away, ha-ha!
Okay. That's Napoleon XIV, AKA Jerry Samuels from New York. And that song sold something like 3 or 4 million. I don't know how to, it's not really a song, but the flip side, the B side, was the song played backwards, and the label was written backwards. So it was it was the entire song in reverse.
And that was better than this?
What's that?
And that was better than this?
It can't be any worse, but they just played it backwards. So it's kind of weird. Anyway, the next song was awarded the Ms. Magazine Male Chauvinist Pig of the Year Award. So for the artist and the song, you could not write this song today. You simply could not do it. And it was, I don't know why it was a hit, because it's just, again, it's just a nauseating song, but very, very anti-feminist, for lack of a better expression.
Oh.
What a goodie.
You're having my baby. What a lovely way of saying how much you love me. Having my baby. What a lovely way of saying what you're thinking of me. I can see it, your face is glowing. I can see it in your eyes. I'm happy in knowing that you're having my baby.
No, I'm sorry. Anyway,
Yeah.
Well, you clearly see that we're moving on to the next artist. When
Wonderful wedding song.
What's that?
Wonderful wedding song.
Yeah, well, not mine. Yeah, that would be a surprise, wouldn't it? Anyway, you can obviously see who the next artists are, and it just goes to show, no matter how good you are, you can still have a song that people hate. So this song was despised so much by John and by George. John called it more of Paul's granny. Whoop, I'll leave that out. The engineer quit while the song was recorded because he hated it so much, and the fighting, there was so much infighting that he couldn't stand it. So anyway, we'll play a little of it.
Oh,
greatest group of all time? Sorry, anyone can come up with a clinker, I guess. What can I say? Next song I know was somebody's wedding song, and I apologize, but I don't know what else to say about it. I'm going to put on some protective gear because I think a lot of stuff's going to get thrown at the screen for this song. So I'm going to try to make sure that I'm okay here. So anyway, I think I'm covered. This song spent 10 weeks at #1. Okay, so it's been 10. I don't know how it spent 10 weeks at #1, but it did. You couldn't get rid of it. It is just, I know some people are going to really say they like it, but yeah, well, you judge for yourself.
Oh, God.
So many nights I'd sit by my window, waiting for someone to sing me his song. So many dreams I kept deep inside me, alone in the dark. But now you've come along, and you light up my life. You give me hope to carry
I can't take it. I'm sorry. That's as far
No,
as I-
no more.
That's as far as, no, I can't. I cannot take it.
Glenn, if the chats say anything.
I can't see it. What's going on?
If the
I think
chats
we're-
say anything, they're saying that this presentation is keeping the liquor industry in business tonight.
I kind of was hoping it would. Okay, as I said, looks like coffee, isn't coffee. Okay, well, anyway, thank you, Debbie. Really appreciate it. Wrong. Anyway, the next guy I just thought was kind of a weirdo, and I personally hate this song, so I'm glad it's on the list. He had a couple of hits. This song reached #1 on the easy listenings chart. I've always thought there shouldn't be an easy listening chart because it doesn't really make any sense. But anyway, the guy had a couple of hits, nothing as big as this. I just think the song is moronic.
I remember to this day the bright red Georgia clay, how it stuck to the tires after the summer rain. Will power made that old cargo, a woman's mind told me that's so. Oh, how I wish we were back on the road again. Me and you and a dog named Blue, traveling and a living off the land. Me and you and a dog named Blue, how I love being
He loves being a
free
free man.
man.
I didn't recall this guy being in bondage. I mean, I don't know why he was a free man. But anyway, Lobo, me and you and a dog named Boo, which I don't know. I don't know what to say about that. Anyway,
Glenn, Lorraine says this gives dogs a bad name.
this is true. Thank you for the input. The next two songs feature, we're lucky, we have an artist that's on the list twice. Only one artist appears twice. You've got to be really talented for the entire world to put you on the list twice. And his songs come back to back. So the first song, he's part of a group. Okay, the song is awful unto its own. Again, if you came in late, this is not my list, don't shoot me. This is a collation of lists. The song was recorded in 1969 by a group called the Poppy Family out of Canada. The engineering is about the worst you've ever heard because you will hear the singer Susan Jacks breathe before every line, and it's not filtered out. So you will hear her inhale before every single line, as if the song isn't bad enough. Now you have to listen to her breathe. So
Which way you going, Billy? Can I go too? Which way you going?
Anyway, so the guy on the bottom, this is Terry Jacks. Okay, Terry Jacks wrote that song and recorded it, but the next song is also Terry Jacks doing a solo. The song was originally a French song called Le Moribond. Well, if you think of the word moribund, you know it's going to be a really cheerful song. So he had it kind of translated into English, worked with Rod McEwen, the poet. You might remember him from the 60s. And they came up with a song where he sings about his own death. Okay, it's really cheerful. So he talks to various people about his own death. So, I just, I don't know what to say. See if you can remember this song and how much you enjoyed it then.
Goodbye to you, my trusted friend. We've known each other since we were 9 or 10. Together we've climbed hills and trees, learned of love and ABC, and skinned our hearts and skinned our knees. Goodbye, my friend, it's hard to die when all the birds are singing in the sky. Now that the spring is in the air, pretty girls are everywhere. Think of me and I'll be there. We had joy, we had fun, we had seasons in the sun, but the hills that we climbed were just seasons out of time.
That is vile. Anyway, that's Terry Jacks, Seasons in the Sun. I can't think of a less cheery song than that. The next song was now get this, wait till you see this. The next song hit #1, and it was #1 for 5 or 6 weeks, so people were stuck with it. And it's just an awful song. This song hit #1 on the hot R&B charts. The hot R&B charts. Got it? Okay. Just want you to see what qualified for #1 on the hot R&B charts.
Hey, hey, Paula, I wanna marry you. Hey, hey, Paula, no one else could ever do. I've waited so long for school to be through. Paula, I can't wait no more for you, my love.
Got to cut it off. I know you're disappointed.
Glenn, I understand that they're using that in, the state agencies are using this. If you don't know this song, you can't get a COVID shot. Not yet.
I just thought
you don't remember this song.
True. This, Men in Black would be able, if they could do that and just erase this from everybody, that would be good too. They remind me of Moose and Midge from Archie Comics. When I see that, that's what it remind me of. Now, the next song I thought would have topped the list. If I thought there was going to be one song that, now it's still on the list, but I thought that this song was going to be the most universally hated because I think it was recorded in something like 34 languages. And I wish that he had skipped English. Okay. But unfortunately it was recorded in English too. Well, you'll remember.
Feelings, nothing more than feelings, trying to forget mine, feelings of love.
That's it. It's over. Sorry. Anyway, he's Brazilian, Mars Albert. And so again, recorded it, said he never had to work again. And I wish he hadn't. But I don't wish him any ill, but I just wish him having never made that song.
I don't know. You said
You said
you didn't wish him any will, but some people are saying he should have gone to prison.
Well, that probably would have been good too. I mean, because that true crime against humanity. The next song is the 8th biggest selling song in history. Okay, I am almost positive that everybody here really liked this song when it came out. Okay, aside from the fact that the ensemble, which may give it away, was so taken with themselves that the song was inescapable. You couldn't get rid of it. You couldn't get rid of the material, the marketing, anything. It started out as a great song for a great cause. And after the first 1,000 times, we all began to get a little tired of it.
Oh.
There comes a time when we heed a certain call, when the world must come together as one. There are people dying. Oh, when it's time to lend a hand to life, the greatest gift of all.
I really liked that song when it came out. I really did. I still don't have it. I had to download it again. I think I somehow got rid of it years back. But it just was one of those songs that was so incredibly overplayed that everybody wound up being sick of it rather than enjoying it. Now, the next song's kind of funny. Jim Webb was a really successful songwriter, wrote a whole bunch of songs back in the 60s and early 70s. And all of a sudden, from out of the blue, this actor called him and he said, I really like you to write a song for me because I want to record a song. And Jim Webb basically said, not to him, you can't sing. You don't know how to sing. And he said, I just finished this movie. Well, it's a musical. He said, yeah, but you really didn't sing. He said, well, I would really like you to write a really complicated, difficult song for me to sing.
Huh.
So I guess the price was right. And well,
Huh.
Spring was never waiting for us, girl. It ran one step ahead as we followed in the dance. Between the parted pages and we're pressed.
I'm going to stop it here because, again, you might recall the song is a really great instrumental, but then, and it's ruined because at the end, you've got to put up with. So anyway, Richard Harris making a song, an incredibly difficult song, and he simply can't sing, but Jim Webb wrote the song. It was re-recorded, you probably remember, by Donna Summer, who had a big hit with it too.
What a voice.
The next song was a huge hit for this singer. And if you remember in the 80s, certain groups used a technical gizmo called a vocoder. You probably heard Peter Frampton use it. Well, anyway, there's another gizmo that the engineers use when you're recording called an auto tune. If you wonder why all singers have perfect pitch when they sing, they don't. Okay, and when their voices are off, they'll use this auto tuner to kind of take the slightly off notes and blend them so that they sound perfect. They have the same thing for drummers called a beat detective, where if your beat is off, it kind of merges it. So drummers always sound like they're perfect when they record. Well, if you tune this a certain way, you get this really weird effect when you sing. And although the song is kind of good, incredibly overplayed, and very unpopular based on the surveys, the first time I heard this song, I thought that this singer all of a sudden had trouble talking and singing because I didn't know what they did to her voice. So I'm going to cue this up a little bit. So we're going to have to start right at the beginning here.
No matter how hard I try, you keep pushing me aside and I can't break through. There's no talking to you. It's so sad that you're leaving. It takes time to believe it. But after all is said and done, you're gonna be the lonely one. Oh, do you believe in life after love? I can feel something inside me say, I really don't think you're strong enough.
Susan
No.
and Bob, you're rocking out. I can see you there. You're doing all right. I like that.
Uh,
Yeah, I mean, the song was a good hit, but that auto tune on her voice is like bizarre. But anyway, again, not my list. Ranking up there pretty high on the least popular songs internationally. So moving right along, the next singer is a half Sicilian, half Ugandan German, okay, who recorded this song, which was originally made in 1949 by Prez Prado, and 50 years later, in 1999, he recorded this. He had a hit, but everybody basically thought this was just one of the most annoying songs they ever heard. Now, here's a funny aside. This song was selected to be the theme song for the Democratic National Convention in the year 2000, until somebody listened to it. And the first line of the chorus is, "A little bit of Monica in my life." They thought, maybe this is not the best song to do.
oh,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Everybody in the car, so come on, let's ride to the liquor store around the corner. The boys say they want some gin and juice, but I really don't wanna be a buzz like I had last week. I must stay deep, cause talk is cheap. I like Angela, Pamela, Sandra, and Rita. And as I continue, you know they're getting sweeter. So what can I do? I really bag you, my lord. To me, flirting is just like a sport. Anything fly, it's all good. Let me jump in, please sing the trumpet. A little bit of Monica in my life, a little bit of Erica by my side, a little bit of Rita's all I need, a little bit of Tina's what I see, a little bit of Sandra in the sun, a little bit of Mary all night long, a little bit of Jessica, here I am, a little bit of you makes me your man.
Anyway, yeah, the song was instantly disqualified as the theme song from the Democratic National Convention. A wise move on their part.
well, this is one of those songs that, together with, I think, another one you're going to play, they were wedding and bar mitzvah songs.
Oh, you couldn't escape it.
Yeah,
there's
no
another
way.
one coming up. Yeah, you couldn't escape it. It was there. Yeah, and kids. Actually, Disney had him redo this song with some of their Disney characters, and so it was very catchy for a while. The next song is the only a cappella song ever to reach #1. Okay, only one, so you may know what it is already. Again, a product of a song. When it came out, people thought it was cute, and then after the first 10,000 times, everybody got really sick of it and said, "I hope I never hear it again." As a matter of fact, there's a DJ out in LA named Bert Weiss who banned the song. He said, "I will never play this song ever again." And to my knowledge, he never has.
Oh,
Here's a little song I wrote. You might want to sing it note for note. Don't worry. Be happy. In every life we have some trouble, but When you worry, you make it double. Don't worry. Be happy. Don't worry.
Okay,
Be happy.
we all know the chorus.
No. The song makes you want to hope that our present circumstances continue. This is entirely too happy.
This is true. Now we move on to the top 10. We're into the top 10. Okay, now we're getting really serious. Okay, so the next song, I have to get myself ready again. So this song was retired by MTV. Okay, they said we will not play the song again. They haven't done that with very many songs. That you really have to be special. So what happens here is this artist is now forever linked with Queen and David Bowie, even though they have no desire to ever be linked with him again, because he basically stole the bass line from the song Under Pressure. He then turned it into a horrible rap song that everybody just basically got sick of and hated.
Oh, no.
Yes. Don't hurt me.
Yo, VIP. Let's kick it. Ice, ice, baby. Ice, ice, baby. All right, stop. Collaborate and listen. Ice is back with my brand new invention. Something grabs a hold of me tightly. Flow like a harpoon daily and nightly. Will it ever stop? Yo, I don't know. Turn off the lights and I'll glow. To the extreme, I rock a mic like a vandal. Light up a stage and wax a chump like a...
Gone. Sorry. Can't take it. Can't take it. Anyway, Vanilla Ice, Rob Van Winkle, real name. And the song again was, it was retired by MTV. I don't know. There was a lawsuit because he obviously lifted the bass line and they won. And he's now linked to them and they don't want to ever be linked with him. So unfortunately for Queen and for David Bowie, they are now, or their estates, they are linked to Vanilla Ice forever. So what can I say?
Glenn, this is very successful tonight. You've got a ton of people in the chat room saying, please stop, end it now. I'm drinking too much. Yeah. So you've achieved what you wanted to achieve.
Well, it depends. If I could walk out of my house tomorrow morning, and that'd be great. The next song, I love Steve Miller. I have tons of Steve Miller, but I just hate this song. I hate it. Okay, a lot of people do too. So I'm going to play it in a second. But the odd thing is that for some reason, and I told this to Barry, having a temporary lapse of judgment, Steve Miller thought he was Janis Joplin when he went for this photo shoot. So.
Some people call me the space cowboy. Yeah. Some call me the gangster of love. Some people call me Maurice, 'cause I speak of the pompatus of love. People talk about me, baby. Say I'm doing you wrong, doing you wrong. Well, don't you worry, baby, don't worry, 'cause I'm right here, right here, right here, right here at home.
Okay, thanks, Steve. By the way, if you need to refill your glasses, that's probably a good time to do it because we're into some serious music now. Anyway, that was from 1973. Next song came out in 1985. Critics have said that the lyrics are indefensibly stupid. Okay, that was one of the quotes. And somebody from Rolling Stone basically said, the song makes me want to go deaf. So the song was not very well received, even though it was a hit. I really like Phil Collins. Okay, I have several things in common with Phil Collins. First of all, we both use the same barber. Also, we're both drummers. We both use Gretsch drums, and we were both born in 1951. But it doesn't stop me from thinking that this song is inane and as bad as some of the critics said. Frank Zappa made an album called We're Only in It for the Money.
Yeah.
I think that song, Phil Collins was only in it for the money. It's just really not up to his standards. Now, the next song, first of all, I have to travel incognito here because I don't want you to associate me with this song at all, okay? So I'm gonna kind of keep my head down. Okay, this was considered the greatest one-hit wonder of all time, okay? The one-hit wonder of all time. Okay, it is by two middle-aged Spaniards, okay, who recorded this song in Spanish. Now, the problem with this song, aside from it being inescapable at every wedding, every bar mitzvah, and every event, was that kids, not only kids like this, teenage girls and women loved to dance to this song. You could not get away from it. Everybody wanted to dance it. So if you were a guy, you wouldn't be caught dead dancing to this song. But you had to deal with, unless somebody made you, okay? But you had no choice. So I'll cue it up and play a little bit of it. But again, you don't know me.
Glenn, as you're playing it, I want some of the guys that did dance to it to admit it.
Well, okay. Well, if anybody wants to stand up and do this, you guys are recording. You're recording this, so you've got somebody on tape. If they do it, you don't know me. My name is Len Brewster. I'm related to Glenn Schuster, but you don't know me.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyway, let me cue this up.
Let's see the dancing. Come on.
They also speculate between verses.
Se llama de apellido Vitorino. En la jura de bandera del muchacho se la dio con dos amigos. Macarena tiene un novio que se llama de apellido Vitorino. Y en la jura de bandera del muchacho se la dio con dos amigos. Dale a tu cuerpo alegría, Macarena, que tu cuerpo es para dar la alegría y cosas buenas.
Sorry. Well,
go Susan. Susan B's had it down, baby.
Did she really? I
she
got
had
everybody up and down here. I can't see.
She had it going.
All right, she's rocking.
Yeah.
All right, next artist, you'll get who it is as soon as we do it, wins the award for the worst mullet of all time. Okay, the song crossed over and annoyed people on both the country western charts and the rock charts. So it's kind of talent when you can do that, kind of like the other song hitting the R&B charts. So this song was, I guess it was a hit, but it wound up being like universally despised on multiple charts.
You can tell the world you never was my girl. You can burn my clothes when I'm gone. Oh, you can tell your friends just what a fool I've been and laugh and joke about me on the phone. You can tell my arms go back into the farm. You can tell my feet to hit the floor. Or you can tell my lips to tell my fingertips they won't be reaching out for you no more. Don't tell my heart, my achy, breaky heart, I just don't think he'd understand. And if you tell my heart, my achy, breaky heart, he might blow up and kill this man.
Anyway,
Glenn, the whole Peninsula line dancing club just went insane.
okay. Well, either no problem, you're welcome, or I'm sorry. I don't know what the right answer is. I really don't know. The next, Barry, this is for you.
No,
This is your favorite. Okay, this is your favorite. Okay. Never was there a movie more popular than this movie, or a song more reviled than this song, because the movie was interminable, and the song, well, My Heart Will Go On, and this song goes on and on and on and on.
Oh, for the love of God, woman, please don't sing it.
Nice picture too.
across the distance and spaces between us. You have come to show you. Go on.
Barry, I want to make sure that you're okay. Karen, can you check on him just to
Yeah.
make sure he's okay?
Oh.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay. The next song, recorded 2005, a little more modern, was basically called A Stupid Ode to Fergie's Butt, was how one critic put it. Anyway, the costumes say it all, but the song is just, this song has won the award for most annoying on almost all the charts, if not necessarily the most reviled, but definitely it came on as the most annoying song.
What you gonna do with all that junk inside your trunk?
I'ma get you drunk, get you love drunk off my hump, 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 my lovely little lumps. Check it out. I drive these brothers crazy. I do it on the daily. They treat me really nicely. They buy me all these ices, Dolce and Gabbana, Fendi and Adana. Karen, they be sharing all their money. Got me wearing fly. Girl, but I ain't asking. They say they love my ass.
Thank you, Fergie. Anyway, now we're moving into the top three.
Hey, Glenn, Glenn, I have to just say that this is belated. It goes back to my favorite song.
Yeah.
This is one of the great chat comments tonight. It is, this person said, now they know why Jack drowned.
That would be entirely permissible. Good comment. Okay, the artist who made this song said the song is awful because it was force-fed down people's throats. That's from the guy who recorded it. Okay, so let me get to it and cue it up a little bit because it's got a very long intro. So let's get it.
My life is brilliant. My love is pure. I saw an angel, of that I'm sure. She smiled at me on the subway. She was with another man, but I won't lose no sleep on that, 'cause I've got a plan. You're beautiful. You're beautiful. You're beautiful. It's true. I saw your face in a crowded place, and I don't know what to do.
Face in a crowded place, and I don't know what to do.
Yeah, get out of there.
Well, we searched deep for those lyrics because, I mean,
Yeah.
that's what can I say? I don't think Dylan and John Lennon have anything to worry about when it comes to James Blunt. What can I say? All right, down to the top two and the bonus song. There's a treat for you after this. Yes. Okay. There is no other word to describe the next song other than obnoxious, which is what universally every critic said about this song because it's simply obnoxious.
Who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs out?
Well, the party was nice, the party was pumping.
Hey, yeah.
And everybody having a ball.
Hey, hey.
Until the fellas started name calling. And the girls respond to the call. I have a poor one shout out.
Who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs out?
We get the point.
But I'm telling you, Glenn, I hope that when we record.
Bruce and Beth are getting it on. Okay.
Yeah, we've got a lot of people getting it on. Susan and Bees is still getting it on.
All right, all right. Well, here comes a champ. Okay, now I have to admit, okay, full disclosure, this is the song that I had downloaded. I had exactly, and not counting the Beatles song, because so many people have Beatle albums that didn't count. Okay, but I actually have this song. I'm not crazy about this song, but I'm stunned that this was by a landslide the most despised song on almost all these lists. If it didn't finish in the top, it finished in the top 4. Okay, I don't know why, but this song is reviled, and it's actually been disowned by one of the singers in the band.
Say you don't know me, I recognize my face. Say you don't care who goes to that kind of place. Knee deep in the hoopla, sinking in your fight. Too many runaways, eating up the night. Marconi plays the mamba. Listen to the radio. Don't you remember? We built this city. We built this city on rock and roll. We built this city. We built this city on rock and roll. Built this city. We built this city on rock and roll.
Well, there's your champ. Don't go away.
Oh.
As they say with Jinsu knives, but wait, there's more. Okay,
No.
but anyway, there's your champ. Okay, so I want to thank you for suffering through this list, but there's a song that transcends genre. There's a song that transcends
Hey,
time.
Glenn, just want to interrupt everybody before as you're getting to the bonus song. We're going to invite all of you to go to the chat box and give us your choice. That didn't appear on this list.
Yeah, there's probably everybody has a, by the way, my most hated song isn't on this list, and that's Benny and the Jets. I love Elton John. I despise Benny and the Jets. And fortunately, it has one song, the chord goes dun, and I have a chance to immediately change the station. So, it's in one way that's advantageous. So this song, I guess it's best. Let me preface this. Let me do my best Rod Serling. You're traveling through another dimension, a dimension of sight, a dimension of sound, a dimension of mind, a wondrous place whose boundaries are those of the imagination. That
Hey.
signpost up ahead, your next stop.
You got to
No,
set
no,
it
no.
up. Wait,
Not the
don't play it
Twilight
yet.
Zone, much worse, much worse.
No, don't play it yet. You've got to
No, I'm
set
not.
this up the correct way. You are standing in line at this particular amusement park that's wrapping around. You've got the kids with you. It's about 95 degrees. You've been there about 2 hours, and you're
relieved.
going into this ride because it goes into a tunnel, and you're
It's
figuring
cool.
you're going to relax.
It's cool, it's wet. So you strap yourself in with your kids or your grandkids, and then you make your big mistake.
Yes.
It's a world of laughter, a world of tears. It's a world of hopes and a world of fears. There's so much that we share that it's time we're aware. It's
stuff in their head when they go to sleep tonight. That's not. gonna
Yeah,
happen.
yeah, blame
I
you.
make sure that I reminded everybody not to think of this song before they go to sleep.
Although there are plenty of people, Glenn, that they love this song. My wife was just dancing to it.
All right.
Yeah,
Well,
she could listen.
I'm not one of them, but that's okay. But that I just always thought it was funny because you couldn't get out. You didn't have any idea that the ride is endless. The songs. Disney actually said to the Sherman Brothers, "I want you to write a song that can easily be translated into other languages and can be an endless round." And boy, did they succeed. So anyway, that's at least my small opinion of the worst song ever made for anybody. Anyway, I had a good time. I don't know if you did, but thanks for sitting through this with all of us. Thank you to the three amigos, as always, for doing a great job.
Before you leave, Glenn, the number of people that have said this is one of the best and have thanked you are too many to count.
Thank you. But it was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun doing it. So it's great. I don't know how many people we had here because I was too focused on annoying them. But thank you all for coming.
Well, Glenn, we started with 100. We're down to 10.
100? Wow, that's pretty good. Well, yeah. Every song we played, I know there were less and less, right? But anyway, thanks for listening. Thanks for being here. And I've been told that we should do this at the pool, make an entire evening out of this. I don't know if that will fly, but I think it would do great for the Cabana Bar. Because I really think the amount of drinks would triple. So,
We do this at the pool, the amount of drinks will triple.
absolutely.
There you go. That'd be good for the club.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Whatever is good for the club.
That's if there's any more liquor.
This
after
team has been
tonight.
fantastic.
I'll drink to that.
Hey, good.
too.
Well,
It was a great
anyway,
time. What a great show, Glenn.
well, thanks a lot. I had a lot of fun, and thanks everybody.
It was fun. Thanks, Glenn.
Thanks, Glenn.
Cheers.
Cheers, Glenn. You rock it. You rock it.
Thanks, Glenn.
Anytime.
It's a
You guys are George, I don't know how to end this thing, so I'll just say goodbye when you.
We'll get you out.
Okay. Well, thanks everybody.